Well, Purnima, it is great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too after Davos Economic Forum.
Yeah, it's been like, I'm sure we both had this conversation a million times. It's like almost 6 months that I've been home in Los Angeles, and this is the longest I think I've ever been home without the traveling. But it's a changing world for sure, with still a lot of challenges, but as we'll talk, there's still a lot of great opportunity out there to do some amazing things. And so welcome to the Leaders Who Care series. I think you're a perfect fit for this series, which people will find out more in this. And let's start by, if you could briefly, semi-formally introduce yourself with a little background, and then let's chat.
Thank you for having me. Namaste.
Namaste.
My name is Purnima Voria, and I'm the founder and CEO of National US-India Chamber of Commerce. It's a business organization that promotes bilateral trade between the United States and India. Our primary focus is the middle and small-sized businesses and their markets for the need to enter global markets successfully. As a business consultant, a business owner, as an educator, as a US-India expert speaker, I help businesses market their products and their services to qualified local partners, provide a roadmap for them for entering the India markets, and also provide legal and taxation help and offer in-company trainings and so forth. I was appointed by United States Secretary of Commerce to serve as an advisor to Obama administration to shape the policy and the future policies and programs that will set the foundation for growth of 8 million minority businesses of United States, which are owned and operated in the US. So, that is a little background.
Yeah, that's great. And, I've got a little bit of inside dirt because I interviewed your daughter before, an executive at IBM. So she gave me some tidbits that I should play with, actually. And but I want you to tell a little bit the story of how you who you are and how you came to India, to the United States, etc. Give us a brief background of that.
I came to United States in 1977 by marriage, and I always say that India gave me birth, but United States raised me to become who I am today. Entrepreneurism has been in my blood. My father was a very successful businessman in India, and he was a big source of inspiration for me. He taught me common sense business, importance of relationship building, and the network that I have. So I founded this National US-India Chamber of Commerce after many, many years of residing in the United States. But
And you're a single mom with daughters.
Yes, I'm a single mom who made my journey from home to the White House, as I say, a little more, flashing. But but I do have 3 daughters, and very successful daughters. I do wear a crown of motherhood on my head very proudly and smile a lot, because my oldest daughter is a doctor by profession. She's a radiologist. My second one is working for oil and gas company as a senior leader in Liberty Oil. And she is actually in a very interesting field where women are not seen very much in oil and gas industry.
Right.
And she's playing the role there, an important role of investor relations and finance. My third daughter that you interviewed is Rakhi Voria, and she is my little star that we all look up to. She has 350 people under her and is a global digital sales director at IBM. So
well, I've met 2 of your daughters, one in person in Seattle and one on video, and yes. I'm assuming the third is just another reflection of the great work you've done in that very important field, if you will. So congratulations on on all you've done there, because that is truly a leader who cares, right there. So
Yes, it's important. If your family is intact, they are not going to come and ask you for loans. In fact, it's the other way around. I can ask them for a loan now. So every investment I made was well planned.
Yeah, I asked, I have 3 boys, and I said, they're gonna have to take care of me when I get older. And they said, don't worry, Dad, we'll get you a walker. And in case you forget who you are and your name, we'll get your name engraved on the walker. So.
That is cute. I know sometimes when my kids were in high school, they always told me that, Mom, remember nursing home? Just when they didn't want to come home at a decent time after partying. So, but jokes apart, my daughters have always said that I'm not going to a nursing home. In Indian culture, we always take care of our parents. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great philosophy of tremendous values. So I think you've done a great job raising beautiful family. And with respect to that, I like to ask people what their why is, but I usually ask it in a different way. Why do you do what you do?
What do I do?
No, why do you do what you do?
What I do. Mm-hmm. My passion is to bring people together. That is the reason I do what I do. And, it's very important for people to have some sort of roadmap for how they want to conduct their lives. And my roadmap is to connect people and businesses worldwide. And when businesses succeed, I succeed. So, it is very important you enjoy what you do. So for me, doing what I'm doing, running the National US-India Chamber of Commerce, promoting international relationship between United States and India is not really work. It's something I love, and it's something that I wake up every day to do. So for me, this is really something I'm very passionate about: connecting people, connecting countries, making economic development happen, and enjoy what I do on a day-to-day basis. It also helps me travel all over the world, so that's another incentive to go with it.
Absolutely, I get that one for sure. So related to that, you know this, it's taken almost decades for leaders to realize that aligning themselves with great people, aligning themselves with making an impact, socially, is actually good for business. And not only that, they realize that the only way they're going to get the best people to join them. So you've been engaged with a lot of international business people in all sorts of ways, connecting, bilateral trade, you name it, and relationships, etc. So even though we've kind of answered that, how would you say you differentiate yourself as a leader who cares?
Well, I put heavy emphasis on relationship, Mark. Building the relationship often results in business deals. And so I put heavy emphasis on relationship and networking. When you have relationship with people, and countries like India really must trust, the businesses like to trust the people they are doing business with. And if they don't, there goes your business deal. So it's very important when you are doing business with emerging countries or developing countries, you put heavy emphasis on relationship. In United States, we push contracts, as you can see. The first thing we want to work out is a contract, if we can do business or not. I'll give you an example. In India, when a businessman from United States goes, he's usually like, okay, I'm here is a contract. If we are matching, our ideas match and our business opportunity matches, let's go ahead and sign and be done with it. But India people will say, oh, your wife is here too in India, I believe, in the hotel. Should I send a car? She can see India, and would you like to come to dinner tonight? Well, they are trying to say that, hey, build a relationship with us first. We should be able to trust you. Come to our home, get to know our family, and we would like to get to know your family. But we in the United States want to do business on a golf course or a ski resort. We don't go to people's home. And in India, we are very passionate about bringing people to home, introducing to the family, because most of the time the businesses are run by families. Sometimes the father is just a figurehead, but the young generation is now running the business. So it is important to know who the decision makers are. And if you don't go home and you don't get to meet the family and you don't see them talking, you're going to miss out a lot, because contracts don't speak all those things.
Yeah, no, they just create lawsuits. That's all they do.
Exactly, exactly.
No, in my
Here
international
we
travel,
talk about exit strategy in business. Uh, Many times before we even begin a business, we are talking about exit strategy. In India, they talk about how generation to generation this business will evolve. So they don't talk about shutting down a business ever.
I actually like that, and in fact, it kind of relates to a new business model that was introduced to me called Steward, Steward Enterprise, which is about profits go towards the purpose of the company, not for determining what we have to do to sell the company, but it's for the purpose.
Right, exactly.
I
And
do
also,
like that. I actually even notice it with the interviews I'm doing, which 95% of them are from home now, as you can imagine, and how people are becoming more authentic because they're at home. They're more comfortable, and and they love it, because that is the heart and soul, type of thing. So that's a great differentiator. My speaking of family, I always remember my grandparents, who were immigrants from Kiev, and they would always say with the typical Kiev accent, as long as you have your health, that's the most important thing, they would say. And then obviously
yes,
about education, and it wasn't a line or a slogan or anything. They knew that that was important and of high value to them. It wasn't just something you say. And so I want to get your opinion on this. We've got technology still moving super fast. We have COVID, which has been unbelievable in itself, never mind with other things. And then we've got the racial injustice, which was going to hit a tipping point, but Mother Nature decided to slap us in the head with everything at the same time. So with all that, people have more time to think, call it an awakening or whatever. How do you see our awareness, people's awareness, leaders' awareness evolving at work, at home, in our community with everything that is happening now?
I think the current environment has been an eye-opening for all of us in terms of what is important in life. Our health, our families, our relationships, and everything is changing dramatically, and no one foresee this. But it's for the better, I believe. The coronavirus pandemic has altered our lives both professionally and personally. Different geographies and different industries were hit at different times, but we all have to work to change that. The way we live, the way we work, in order to limit the impact of the pandemic. You've been hearing a lot of people are getting depressed because of staying home and
Right.
all that. So there is not just one thing you can pinpoint at. I believe there is a lot of things that need to happen, especially in the wake of uh, the activities that we have seen with George Floyd's death. And there is much more than just the pandemic and just the business opportunities lost. I think we have to raise the cultural awareness, understanding, and tolerance more, because it's very important in today's business world. If companies don't adapt themselves to and situate themselves for the global change, the competition is going to eat them. Communication channels are different today, supply chains are different today, and the global business is shifting from one country to another. And the perfect example of that is China.
Mm-hmm.
And but at the with saying that, people have stayed connected and are now showing more empathy towards one another. And it has been a boon, I believe, to the business world. The empathy that is evolving in this challenging time, where people are caring more about each other, not just their bottom line, but they are thinking of how can we collaborate, how can we reach out to other businesses and do what we are doing on a day-to-day basis, but how can we do it differently? Which was not the case. Before, it was very much competition leading the businesses.
Once you
But
say it's really so compelling, and it relates to also what you said about meeting at home. there's been many studies that have clearly shown that the thing that fills most people's hearts and soul the most is belonging. And so that's the being belonging at home, being welcome, belonging in your community. It's not just about money. It doesn't make money bad, but money is
Yes.
just money, and you can actually do much better if you do act that way. But I wanted to ask you along those lines. Then you were single mom, the single mom, Indian Asian. You've obviously, I would assume, have had obstacles, had discrimination, had things happen over the years. Do you feel personally the change for yourself and other women like you?
The change in what terms?
Change in how people are aware and more open and more empathetic and more looking at you and other women, and even more so you and Indian Asian women, and that hey, you do have value. You can do things. You're not just whatever.
I'm just going to tell you very frankly, when I became single, there was very little help from the community, the Indian community, because Indian community views single woman as to, she has to be blamed for whatever happens in her life. Women in general, in Indian culture, are always blamed for whatever happens in their life. But I think with saying that, I would say that the business people that I was dealing with, the political figures that I was supporting in elections and so forth, were the first ones that came forward to help me in my personal life. So I will never forget that. But I think today, it all depends on how you have lived your life, how you carried yourselves, how you have raised your children. So the family always comes in the picture, whether it's here or in India. Once you become a success story, once I left home and did various jobs, and then started the chamber, and right when I started the chamber, within a year, I was appointed by United States Secretary of Commerce and went with President Obama to India with him. All those things make a difference. Many other women are not so fortunate as I am. And I was very fortunate to be invited by Ivanka Trump and the United States State Department to go to India with them for GES 2017 in Hyderabad. So all those things definitely led to my own community now coming to me and sort of saying Namaste Purnima ji everywhere I go. And so the whole scenario changes. I think anyone, whether you face a calamity or not, if you can turn the tragedy into triumph and be who you are, stay strong and take care of yourself and your family in the best way possible. And at the same time, give back to the community you live in. I think my giving back to the political community or the business community or the Denver Center for the Performing Arts as a board member, by bringing cultural events there, all those things help me become who I am. So always give and you should always receive.
So that's a good segue to this question, if you will. What role do you see business leaders who care having to play with respect to the financial well-being of their talent, as well as the physical and mental well-being of the people that they employ in the businesses that you work with?
You know, we all know that this is a very difficult time we are going through. We have uncertainty about health, uncertainty about business, uncertainty about jobs, but we have to stay optimistic about the future, and leaders will play a significant role in exhibiting calmness, control, and inspiring hope and innovation. We as leaders must be role models for cultivating the culture of caring in our lives. So don't just think about the bottom line. Put people first, show empathy. It's not going to be all about individual businesses. It's going to be about collectively how we do business together, how we connect with people, how we create business opportunities collectively for each other. And I think that is going to play a very important role. Our chamber is promoting mental and physical exercises through yoga and meditation Yoga, as you know, increases immunity, mental health, and well-being of our members through webinars is what we are doing. And you know, India is known for yoga for centuries. And India is known for creating the World Yoga Day. As you know, our Prime Minister Modi created that, and each and every country, I'm glad to share, that is following that ever since he did that. So every year we have a World Yoga Day, and the entire world is doing yoga along with our Prime Minister. So, you know, in saying that, because we believe in one thing, which is called Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means the world is your family. So our Prime Minister is not just taking care of India, but he's taking care of the entire world, because yoga gives you life. It increases immunity. It's like putting life into yourself when you are doing the breathing exercises. So I will say that our Prime Minister is the epitome of the leaders who care, so to speak.
I think that's beautiful. And I experienced it when I was in India, where we first met, where we did yoga in the front lawn across from the hotel. And, and that was just an experience, not just doing yoga, but doing yoga in India for the first time. So,
and for me, it was very funny as well, because I have not done yoga in front of a five-star hotel lawn for all the places. So this was first for me as well in India. Usually a yoga teacher comes to home and he takes care of you, and you know, it's almost like a forced thing, because he comes, you have to get up and do it.
Yeah, but to me it was just an example of an experience, doing it outside, doing it where we did it, and the welcome that we had. So I got fond memories from that, and I got great coming memories for, I hope many other visits. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you. I appreciate the time well spent, and look forward to many more with you.
I do too. It'll be my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.